So just as a heads up before I get started in today's video, I've already made a tutorial on this, and there will be a link to it down in the description below. It'll go more in depth in the Blender details and how you want to make your car look while you import into the game. While I am going to cover that in this tutorial, it's not going to be as in depth as I did beforehand. So make sure you guys go check that down below, but hope you enjoy this tutorial. Alright, so prop to mesh. Now, the old tutorial that I made was kind of shit, and the mic quality was very, 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 very quiet. I hope now I've fixed all the bugs and we can show you how to do this. So first, you want to have Blender. Doesn't matter what version of Blender you want to use. Personally, I use the recent one just because I like how it works. I use 2.934, and when you want to get started, you always just start by having a blank canvas. So I'm going to import my model. I'm pretty sure I still have it, which I do. It's going to be this A86 coupe, a fairly simple, low in size model. It's about 5 megs, and all you basically want to do is come in here, select it, and you want to make sure it's zeroed on the axis. Mine is already done for that, but I will just make sure. I'll show you how to do that. So let's say it's off a bit here. You just want to align it to where it's about perfect. So some models will be at 0, some will be like mine is. You don't really have to worry about it too much. You can always adjust that in P2M, and I will show you how to do that. But now, we can't just import this all as one solid model. That will never work, because the P2M controllers now have subcontrollers, and each subcontroller controls the color of that part. So let's say I want to have this panda theme, as it is a panda Troino. So I want to then go into here. I've selected it in object mode. I've gone to edit, made sure that nothing was selected by clicking out here. And now I've gone to the sphere, which shows all of the materials, and I'm looking through the materials for certain things. This I've already separated, and I know that the body is under paint 11. And once I have this, I'm going to right click, separate by selection, and now if I go into object mode, you'll see I have A86 here and A86.001. And now this is the entire body, this paint group that I want basically extracted. Now I know for a fact that this is above 1 megabyte, or this is below 1 megabyte, sorry. But you have to keep that into consideration when exporting and importing models into Gmod. Every single model part that you import through P2M can only be 1 megabyte in size. Can't be bigger, and it can be smaller, but it can't be bigger. And if you want to do moving objects, you can obviously, separate the doors and stuff right now. For the one that I'm going to be using in game, I have already done that with the headlights, because that is what I used for an opening thing. But yeah, so you just want to kind of do that for the entire car. Separate them into the different parts. So you'll come out with something that looks like this when it is all exported. Ignore, I should have deleted these. Ignore all of the MTL files. You'll get those whenever you export. But I'm just going to delete all of those right now. So you should have a bunch of OBJs that look like this. I'm going to delete body 1 because this is what I'm exporting. This is body 1. So when you want to export, you go up to here, select what you want to export first. Export wave.obj, selected objects only, desktop or wherever you want to do it, and name it So I'm going to name this tutorial because it's a tutorial. Don't really mess with the scale too much, no need to. And you want to export it. And then once you have exported it, you will have your OBJ, which I'll open in 3D Viewer because it's not too big. And you'll have an MTL, which doesn't really matter. So now that you have all of these, we now need to put them in a spot to where P2M can read them. So if you don't already have the P2M add-on, I will put that into the link in the description to where you can get it for Gmod. But once you have that installed, you go to your Gmod, Gary's mod folder, data, P2M, and now this will be empty on default. And now you just drag and drop, copy it in, and now you have your OBJs in. So now that you have your OBJs in, now you can actually boot up the game and import them. I'm going to jump cut to see you all in game, so yeah. See you then. Alright. Now that we are in game, I know the setting looks a little different. That's because I'm on, what map is this? Forest Rally. The garage looks a little different because I'm on Forest Rally. This is the only server that would let me connect to. So, yeah, we're going to do it on here. Alright, anywho. Now that we are in game, you're going to want to go into your Q menu. And you want to find Prop to Mesh. Now, this is the tool that you're going to use everything for. So, mine might look a little different towards yours. That's because I changed the model. Doesn't really matter. It's going to be the same thing anyways. So once you have this out, you want to right click here and you want to left click to add a controller. Now these controllers are used to basically import your OBJs. So think of these like the original controllers from my past video, but instead of you needing to spawn in multiple, you do them inside the Prop to Mesh tool. So you only need one of these. So let's say I want to put my body onto my first one. I'm obviously going to up the scale so it fits. I know that to be 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, which will then result in a thing that looks like this, which doesn't look very nice, and that is okay because we can fix that here in the edit. Go to here, OBJs once you're in controller 1, attachments, and then you go to edit part, and now you always want to tick render inside. You can no longer tick render smooth. It automatically does it when you move this, and render smooth will get rid of all of the noticeable vertices like you see right here. So for me, for this car, I found 70 looks the best, and now we have a shell. Oh, and also make sure when you do anything that revolves around the position, scale, any number that you type in, you press enter. Because if you don't press enter, it won't pop up. And it won't save your changes pretty much. So make sure you do that. Alright, so now that we have this part down, now I'll say I want to add my other piece. Let's say I want to add the other half of the body, the black bit of the Panda Torino. So now, what I want to do is I want to add another controller, right-click, edit, now you'll see I have 2 here. Go into OBJ's, File, Body 2, set this to 10, 10, 10, tick render inside, change this to 70 because that's what it's preset for, confirm changes, and boom, now we have a full shell with no interior, no lights, no nothing. And now, I want to add color to this. Now before you would just color the main thing here, but as you can probably see, hang on, let me grab a material that I like, paint 2. Now you'll see that there are different parts in here to where I can put a material on. So for controller 1, which would be my white part, I'm just going to leave white. And then for this part, now I have this white. Now I can go in here and set the color to this to whatever I want. And now we have a colored model. right? So basically, for every different color or every different material that you want to add another material. I'm going to do that one more, or another controller, sorry. I'm going to do that one more time. Left click to add a controller, edit prop here, obj, files. I'm going to put the interior in now, set the scale to whatever you found works, set your angle, set whatever you need in here, render inside, set the render smooth to whatever, confirm changes, and now we have an untextured interior half because I don't have the seats in yet. Now I want to paint this, set this to any texture. I'm going to set it as cloth and set it to any color. I'm going to set it as dark gray. And that is how you use the updated prop to mesh tool. And with it, you can now make things that look like this. Once it loads. This is one of the downfalls with prop to mesh. Prop to mesh takes forever to save an advanced dupe, and it takes forever to open advanced dupe, and it also takes a little bit of time once you actually spawn your dupe in to fully sync, but overall it's not that laggy and you can get pretty good results out of it. So as you'll see, the car will build around, and now we have the A86 coupe model fully imported with carpets and seats, and the best part, pop-up headlights. I know this tutorial was pretty bland, but that's because most of the information that you need to fully understand how to do this is in the previous tutorial. This is more of an updated guide on how to use the newly updated prop to mesh tool with the right click to edit, left click to add controllers, instead of the old adding a controller per every part that you want. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys have a great day.